Hey everybody, this is John Marucci. We're coming to you from my house today to de-winterize the R-Pod. We've got it out of storage, we've got it in front of the house here. I'm going to take you through step by step on how to de-winterize the R-Pod. Now I have an R-Pod 179, so this is going to be specific to the 179, but it also applies to other R-Pods, in fact to other RVs as well. So take a look at this video and hopefully this will help you, especially those of you who have never done it before and those of you who may have just gotten an R-Pod. So this should be helpful to you as we take you step by step through de-winterizing the R-Pod. So let's jump into it. Here we go. So the first thing we're going to do, first step, is take the plywood off of the bed of the 179 so we can get at the water heater, because we got to unbypass the water heater so the water will go into the water heater as we start to do our sanitization step. So let's go ahead and do this. I've got a little power drill here, battery operated power drill with a Phillips head, and I'm just going to take the 4 screws off of the plywood here real quick and move the plywood so we can get a look at the hot water heater and get down to it. So here we go. Okay, so let's have a look at the water heater. Okay, so we're taking a look at the hot water heater. You'll notice that these valves are set to bypass the hot water heater. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the valves, right, so that the water will now start to flow into the water heater. And the next step is we're going to actually fill the freshwater tank a third full of water. Now this is not filtered water. This is the only time I would fill the freshwater tank without filtered water all year. And that's just to get water in here to mix it with the bleach solution we're going to put in just a moment. So all we do here is just going to take the freshwater tank cover off. You know, we have water coming out, right? Just going to use this nozzle to put it down in there and turn it on. And we're going to leave that on for probably about 5 minutes or so. Now what we'll do is, as we leave this on, we'll go inside the unit and check the freshwater tank level. When it gets to 1/3, we'll turn it off, and then we'll mix the bleach solution up next. Now we're going to mix our bleach solution. You got to be very careful. This is real bleach. I wouldn't do this inside just in case you spill it on your carpet or whatnot. Be careful you don't spill it on your clothes. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of bleach for every 15 gallons. So our pod tank is 30 gallons fresh water, so we're going to get a 1/2 cup of bleach into the Pyrex dish. And I already have a gallon jug here, about 3/4 full of water. So I'm going to very carefully pour this into the Pyrex until I have 1/2 cup. And there it is. It's not very much. All right, make sure that's sealed really good. All right, so I got the 1/2 cup bleach. All right, just double checking it. Looks good to me. So we're just going to pour it into the pitcher of water. All right, again, be very careful since it is bleach. If you get it on your fingers or whatnot, don't rub your clothes. Okay. All right, so there you go. Okay, so here we are. Next step we're going to do is we're going to take the bleach solution we just mixed in this 1 gallon jug here, and we're going to use this funnel to put it in the fresh water tank very carefully. Now, why do we do this? Because the freshwater tank can easily accumulate mold or other bacteria off season. It definitely needs to be sanitized before we start using it in earnest here in this season out. So the jug is empty. We're just going to put this in here for now, and we'll call this good. So all we got to do now is fill this up the rest of the way. So we've now filled the freshwater tank full of fresh water with the bleach solution. All right, so the next step is we're going to turn the water pump on. It's going to fill the hot water tank, and then we're going to turn the hot water on at the sink. So we're going to do that. And you may be able to hear that back there. The water pump is going. Now remember, it may take a few minutes because the hot water tank is 6 gallons. So we're going to go look at this now. And once that fills up, we should be able to turn the hot water on. Now you see that that's going to spit a little bit. All right, because it's getting the air out of the lines. That's totally normal. Okay, so we have regular water coming out of the hot water tank. This is now part of the bleach solution. And you can smell bleach. Now we're going to let it run a little bit till it gets a little bit stronger, gets more of the air out. And you can see it's coming out pretty good. No more pink stuff. And it does smell. So that's good on that side. We'll call that good. So the hot water tank is full of bleach solution at this point. So we're going to turn on the cold water now. You notice that there's pink stuff coming out in the cold line. It just lasts for a few seconds here until the cold water side flushes all the antifreeze, and then we start getting regular bleach solution water coming through the lines. You notice it's cleared up already, and it does smell like bleach, so it's pretty good here. It's cranking on a little bit more. Okay, looks pretty good. Now we're going to flush the antifreeze out of the bathroom area, both the sink, the shower, and the toilet. So let's go ahead and do this. We're going to open up the hot water again. There's going to be some air coming out a little bit. You're going to then should see some pink solution coming out. Cold water. Okay, just a little bit pink, not very noticeable, but a little pink. Okay, you can hear the water pump going. Okay, let's do the same thing with the shower nozzle. So I'm going to turn the hot on first. So just a little shot of pink come out, and then regular water, and then the cold. And we should be good to go. And we're going to make sure we do two things. We're going to flush the antifreeze through the lines first, then make sure we get the bleach solution in here. Then we're going to turn the water pump off and get all the bleach out of the toilet so that it doesn't stay on the seal. It's not a good idea to leave bleach solution on the seal of the toilet, and then put normal water on top of the toilet in the basin. Okay, final step to get the bleach solution through the lines is to drain the antifreeze out of the outdoor shower, and then make sure the bleach solution's coming through as well. So we're going to do that right now. Just take the key and unlock it. Okay, make sure you remember to keep your water pump on. So we're going to do that. We're just going to turn the hot water on. You'll see the kind of the pink stuff's coming up, and then no pink. Should be good. And then the cold water, same thing. And that's it. Okay, the final step on sanitization is we're going to actually fill the freshwater tank back up to full, because we use some of that water to run through the line. So we're going to fill this back up. Remember, this is mainly filled with bleach solution right now. Let's just fill it back up, call it good. Let this sit, minimum you want to let this sit is 6 hours. We're probably going to let it sit overnight and then come back tomorrow morning and do the next steps, which is actually rinse the system and fill it up with fresh water. So let's go ahead and do that. Just fill this up, and we'll call this part, the sanitization step, done for now. We'll come back tomorrow and do the next step. Hey everybody, we're back. It's the next day. We've left the bleach solution in the water lines overnight, and now we're going to do the next step, which is to clear the bleach solution out of the water lines and fill the freshwater tank up with fresh water after we drain it a couple times. So here we go. We're going to start on the kitchen sink. So this still has the bleach solution in the lines, and we're just going to let it run for a little bit, both the cold and the hot. I'm going to turn the water pump on now, and we're going to let a little bit of water run through. It's got a good bleach smell still, so we're just making sure it works just a little bit from both sides, the cold and the hot. And if you remember, we let the bleach solution into the hot water tank, and we're going to take care of that in a few minutes too. So we're just letting the water run through a little bit, and I can definitely smell the bleach. Okay? Okay, we're now going to drain the bleach solution out of the freshwater tank. So to do that, all we have to do is come down under the unit and find the freshwater tank cap, drain cap, and unscrew it. It's pretty simple, and all you have to do is unscrew it, and then the freshwater tank will drain by itself. So it's pretty easy just to undo it, and it'll come out. And this will take a few minutes. Okay, we're now going to drain the bleach solution out of the hot water tank. Remember, we let this sit in there overnight as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the hot water tank area. Okay, now this is probably under some pressure, so there's a little pressure valve here. So we're just going to open that a little bit. All right, let some pressure out of the tank. And then we're going to take the anode rod out. So again, with the 1 1/16 socket, we're going to go ahead and get the anode rod out and let it drain the rest of the way. So just got to unscrew it, and it's going to, the 6 gallons that are in here are going to come out. So it's always a good idea to let the pressure out first This is still a little pressurized, so just be aware of that. Okay, we have drained the freshwater tank of the bleach solution and drained the hot water tank, put the new anode rod back in. And so now we're going to fill the freshwater tank up again. So we got our hose again from yesterday, and we're just going to open it up and fill it up. And once we fill it up, we're going to run it back, run water through the lines again, the fresh water, purge out the bleach solution, and then drain the tank again. Okay, and final steps here. We're doing the final drain of the freshwater tank. If you remember, we drained this bleach solution out, we filled it back up with fresh water, we just ran that through all the lines, the fresh water, and now we're draining the tank one more time. When the fresh water is drained out of the freshwater tank, that's done, we're all sanitized, we're good. So the last step is going to be putting the city connection hose on, turning the city water on, running it back through one more time, making sure we get everything out using the city water connection. And that'll be it. We're all de-winterized, and we're just going to put the plywood back on the bed. Before we do that, we'll just check the connections one more time, make sure we have no leaks back there by the water pump, etc., and seal it up. And that'll be it for the season. So there's all your steps to de-winterize the R-Pod 179. Hopefully this is enjoyable, easy to follow. This is John Marucci. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe. And if you hit that bell icon, you'll get notified by email every time we have a new video come out. Hope you have a great season camping this year. We're going to have a good time here as well. Thanks for watching.